Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another great episode of Culture Junkies Live, episode 231 on the dial. I'm your host, Kenshiro. Today, we're going to be talking about the dying art of the TV theme song. I mean, everywhere you look, we got streaming services everywhere, but the sign of a good show usually is a really dope theme song, and that just kind of doesn't happen nowadays anymore. So, before I get too far ahead of myself, on the show with me today, across from me sitting is the dapper, as always, Mr. GQ. To the right of me is the great Dadakuji. And from remote is my good friends Fallen Marble and Gypsy. What's up, fellas?
Hey. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing good.
I think we're all doing good.
Yeah, we're good. I mean, I just drank some Vernors, so we're all good. Thanks for that light.
So, does Verner's give you, like, you know, the bubbles, the gas, all that other
It gives you wings. It was the first one to give you wings, and it cured everything.
Is that what it gives you? It gives
Warm
you wings?
Vernors does cure everything.
Cold Vernors, too.
I couldn't stand Verner's as a
I
kid.
argue it would. Like, Vernors is that deal for me. Like, that's...
Man, no, dude.
Personally, that's
You
me.
just said warm, and that bothers me.
No, for real. Like, if you took Vernors and put it, you know, in a small pot, heat it up on the stove, and drink it while it's warm, any cold you have is gone. Because basically, you're drinking ginger.
Straight ginger.
That's true. That's true. It does have ginger in it.
Powerful healing agent.
Well, all right, everybody. So before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I want to thank everybody that's joining the show right now. Wolverine Solid X over on YouTube. Thank you for joining the show. One of our Gold Star Culture Junkie level patrons. And Fab Nerve Life is also over there. She's another of our Gold Star Culture Junkie patrons. So let's go ahead and run the gamut. We got a lot of stuff to get to.
Yeah.
Just hit it again.
Run the gamut.
Don't hit back.
All right, let's start with Mr. GQ.
Well, for today, sad day for wrestling fans, Mr. Joe Laurinaitis, also known as Road Warrior / LOD member Animal, has passed away. We lost Hawk, I want to say about 7 years ago now, maybe 4, somewhere in there. But yeah, he unfortunately passed away recently, and for wrestling fans, it's kind of a blow. The Road Warriors and the Legion of Doom are no more. Completely now.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, man.
They'll always be remembered.
Of course. Yeah, definitely. We'll pass the ball to whoever wants to go next.
Let's go to Fallen Marvel.
Yes, hello, everyone. It was announced earlier today that there will be what was my man's name? Peacemaker?
Peacemaker.
Yes, there will be a Peacemaker spin-off series on HBO Max with James Gunn. I believe he's writing and directing the show, or he probably will direct most of them, whatever. But yes, we'll have more Peacemaker on HBO Max with John Cena starring.
So for those of us out there who may or may not know, who in the hell is Peacemaker?
I have no idea who the hell he is, to be honest.
That kind of highlights the problem, ain't it? Don't it?
95% of the people that's in this second movie, I have no clue who they are. So I'm just take it for what it's worth.
I mean, just hearing that news, it was just extremely odd. But here's some news that for me that wasn't odd. So it was announced yesterday that Supergirl will end after its next season 6. Which is going to premiere in 2021. Now, why does this not come as a surprise to me? Well, a couple of different factors. None more important than there is a straight to series order for Superman and Lois, which is Tyler Hoechlin's Superman show and Elizabeth Tulloch's Lois Lane show, where they're going to
fix his suit.
Yes, actually, they say there's going to be like a badass suit that he's going to have.
His suit sucked.
His suit was terrible. His suit was terrible. Yes, it absolutely was.
Low budget Superman suit.
It sure was, wasn't it?
Come on.
I mean, dude, like the cape was like clasped to his outside. It was just everything about it was just bad. Everything about it was bad. And then they made it even worse when Mon-El got his suit. They just recycled the Superman suit. That's how bad it was. Anyway, so Supergirl ending is season 6 because of the Superman show, but also because Melissa Benoist, who married the guy who played Mon-El from the show, is having a baby, and I think she's kind of ready.
In real life?
Yeah, she married him in real life, and I think they're going to be just moving on. She wants to just move on, and with Superman as a show on Arrowverse, you don't need a Supergirl show too. And I've always said that. It's like, wait a minute, you're gonna have a Supergirl show, and you're gonna have Superman in it. You know, you kind of just signed the kiss of death for this show, right? Like, literally, that was it.
You definitely don't need it, considering that they pretty much made her a female Clark. Which it's just like you don't need 2 Clark Kents on at the same time. So
exactly. Yeah. And Supergirl, of course, had a lot of writing problems, but for me, the only sad part of this is that Katie McGrath will not be on my screen every week. Because Herlina Luthor, man, she is beautiful, and I loved watching her every week. She was a great character too.
Fab Nerd Life said that folks have babies and still make shows.
This is true, but that's not going to be the case with Supergirl because I mean the writing was kind of on the wall, really.
Well, whatever. I want a power.
That writing was on the wall because that's why I didn't watch it. When you had firefighters, first episode, take out Livewire, and Supergirl's like, "Oh my God, I can't see her. Come help me, firefighter." And that made me not want to watch the show. So whatever.
I hear you.
And to his point, I have given the show 3 chances in 3 different seasons, and they've always done something that lost me as a viewer. So like I washed my hands of it a long time ago.
Whatever. The Arrowverse was only good for its crossovers. That's it.
Yeah, and they and Crisis was kind of a little bit of a letdown. So. Yeah,
I still like it.
Cream's right Cream's right. There's always Merlin reruns on Netflix, and I actually have to get into that show. I haven't watched it yet. So,
all right, what's up to Big Preem over there on Twitch, King to Keem in the YouTube chats, Fab Nerd Life, and Wolverine Solid X over on YouTube. Appreciate you guys checking in. It's awesome.
All right, so I think that was it for Run the Gamut. Go ahead, follow.
Yeah, just really quick, shout out to my friends over there, Eugene Maddox and Caleb Overstreet in EJOBN. So if you guys want to chime in later on, just make sure to click the YouTube link or the Twitch link, and you can be power.
Come on over. We want to chat with y'all directly. Lastly, Dido had something else. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, there's just as Grandpa used to say, Jackie Chan show. One more thing. It's just one more. Those anime fans. What?
That was Uncle.
It was Uncle, not Grandpa. Excuse me, it was
Uncle.
Uncle. But that's what he used to say. I'm sorry if you think that's racist, but that's what he did. All right?
Come on. Let's go so we can keep the show going.
All right. Okay. So anyway, for you anime fans out there, and specifically ones who like fighting anime, there's more Grappler Baki coming. Son of Ogre has just been announced for Netflix.
Yeah.
And Netflix, the Grappler Baki, it's. Whew.
Some people don't like it because they find it. I think they just don't know what's going on. It's just like if you haven't watched the original series, you kind of get lost. You're like, okay, who's this guy? Why is his father such a badass and all this other kind of stuff? You kind of need to watch the first 2 seasons of Grapple Baki to kind of get it.
They should put that up.
They should put that up there. That's true, but the show is fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
The show is fantastic. I'm just saying. All right, so
I'll say it has weird pacing.
It does, but as far as like the action they show on there, it's really great. Dude, what he did to Muhammad Ali Jr. was that shit was wrong.
Man, they built him up to being like almost his equal.
Yeah,
they built him up, and then freaking.
Everybody is holding out hope that he'll have a redemption story later on, but I'm sorry, I don't know about that. Not after all that.
Yeah, that shit was wrong. I hate seeing a brother go out like that, but damn, that shit was terrible.
At least they did proper respect Muhammad Ali.
They did.
Senior.
They did.
Not even freaking Yujiro Hama was messing with him. Like,
that's true.
Give him utmost respect.
I didn't expect
that.
Honestly, I did not expect that. But anyway, we're almost getting derailed. Let's go ahead and get to the next. Somebody's got a fire alarm going on. Look at this show. It's hot. So hot. We're triggering fire alarms from a remote. That's dope. Xbox.
Yo, so people out in the world, you know what's coming? The Xbox. I know you're all excited about it.
Yawn.
I know you're not excited about it. Most people are not excited for whatever strange reason. It plays video games. It has good video games. Not a lot of people are going to buy a $700 video card in order to play these things. You can buy a $500 or $400 system and still get good graphics and great games. So people who like to play video games, stop choosing sides and just play the video games. But besides that, the pre-orders have gone out for it. And the day before that, something special, maybe, which I don't think it's going to be very special. Microsoft bought Zenny Media, and what came with that is Bethesda Studios. And for those who do not know about Bethesda, they make some of the most top-tier games that are coming out recently. Doom is pretty top-tier. You got
Fallout.
Yeah, you got the Fallout series. You got Skyrim, which is
Oblivion.
an RPG.
Evil Within.
Yeah, Evil Within, which I think I'm going to stream during October because I want to do some horror streaming, horror game streaming.
Let's play Fallout again.
Yeah, and just to hear that, a lot of people are speculating that Microsoft. I'm not one to speculate. I don't think they're going to do this. I don't think any of those games are going to go exclusive because if I was controlling it, I'd have been like, yep, they're all coming exclusive. Granted, it's just a Xbox PC exclusive, but that would hurt Sony a little bit because they're a big time developer. Well, you said a little bit. When stuff like that happens, it does because there are people out there. You may not be one of them. You may not be one of them. I'm not one of them. I don't play those games.
Right.
But there are people out there that play because Bethesda
do,
is huge. They're not huge, so there's people out there that play them. But they're not going to make them exclusives because that's not how Microsoft thinks. Microsoft thinks you pay for our Xbox, you pay for our service. We're making money off you guys. We're not. It's not a big deal in that aspect. But what do you guys think about that?
So let me frame the discussion here. So there's a couple things to really unpack here. Some people see the whole Bethesda thing as a coup for Microsoft, but then when they kind of neutered that whole thing when they said they're not going to be exclusive at almost in the same breath. So what do we think this means for Xbox and their futures? Because apparently this is like the opening gambit. They're going to be buying some other stuff, but also kind of the take of Bethesda themselves as a developer. I saw on some of the Reddit threads that there's a lot of people that are like meh about this whole deal because Bethesda games like Fallout 76 and some other games have been hella buggy and not really worth it. They haven't really had a super smash hit game since Skyrim came out in the first place. So some people are like, this isn't such a big win for Microsoft after all. What do you guys think about it? Let's start with you, Gypsy. I think you got a lot to say about this.
Oh, buddy, look. You already know I have a lot to say. I'm going to condense it. The whole thing, it's a big deal when it comes down to it because it's Bethesda, right? You say Bethesda, people already know the titles that are brought with, just the name,
right?
But Microsoft is known for pushing out things before they're done, and Bethesda is known to not do things fast. So there's going to be a lot of things that are rushed that are going to not help or hurt any situation. Just going to teach them how to do certain things, right? One thing that a lot of people aren't paying attention to is with them not having these games as exclusives for Microsoft at this point, like the beginning thing. If they don't have any timed exclusives or anything coming out, this meant absolutely nothing. But Bethesda is going to have more money to work with now, which is a win for everybody, which is perfectly fine. Not even mentioning the fact that Sony has enough money in 13, 14 first-party studios that can clap back at Skyrim, because by the time they make Skyrim the 8th revision, we'd have something by then. I could do this for a couple hours, y'all. What you got?
Real quick out of the chat, Shinlo21 over on Twitch said both systems have their positives and negatives, which is true.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
The Iliguani Man over on Twitch as well also said that I always said that once Microsoft opened their wallets, they'll close the gap. John P. over on YouTube, new gaming generation means clean slate win over old fans and new ones. I'm sorry, clean slate to win over old fans and new ones.
No, he's right with that.
No,
dude.
he's definitely right in that. But what I'm saying is, like, and you and I have actually talked about this before, Dido. Microsoft doesn't seem like they're really worried about the console sales this time around. I think what they're trying to do is spread their money out similar to the way Disney spreads their money out. It's like, we'll just own everything, and we'll just make money everywhere.
Right.
So I think that's literally what
That's
they're
not a bad
doing with
strategy
this,
either.
because In all honesty, like I can't think of the last Bethesda game that I actually played. I own Evil Within. I own the Wolfenstein games.
What about the latest Doom?
I didn't even bother.
I have it on PC. I like it, but then again, it's a first-person shooter, so I only can play so much of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like realistically, like a lot of those games is like I am aware of them, but they don't move the needle for me. It's just like now if Microsoft up and said, okay, we're buying Capcom or we're buying Konami, then it's like, oh,
they should buy Konami.
It's like now you're gonna
We
actually
don't
have
want
some
to talk
stuff I'm
about
gonna play
Konami right now.
Right. So a couple of people were in the chat talking about the console wars, and I've been arguing a couple of times with people for the past couple of days since this has been announced. I said, dude, the console. I was like, there is no console war.
Yeah,
like, I mean, when you have because Microsoft is not really even an active participant anymore. Like because they don't care if you buy an Xbox. You could be gaming on the Xbox Game Pass, using the Xbox Game Pass on your Android phone. Dado showed me that last week. I was like, oh, really?
There's rumors that the Xbox Game Pass might come out for the Switch.
Right.
I don't know if those rumors are still checking out, but
there's rumors
No,
for that.
a lot of that has actually been scratched. That project was about to try to have some type of merger between just different games, not like the entire platform, but nothing happened, and no one said anything yet.
Right. So I was arguing with some people back and forth. They were saying, "Oh man, Microsoft wins because they got the Xbox Game Pass." I was like, "Dude, no. The console wars are about consoles sold. It's not about the games. If you can play the games on your PC, on your phone, or on your Switch,
but see, that's
everything
the thing.
else,
See, that's the thing. They're changing the definition of console wars because back in the day, consoles it was. For me, the only console war that mattered was Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
Right.
After that, because I was an adult, I started buying everything, and the games were the same. PlayStation 2, Xbox. Same games on both of them. Both of them, some had some exclusives,
right?
But it wasn't like Sega and Nintendo. It just wasn't.
Right.
And the same thing with 360, PlayStation 3, Xbox One, PlayStation 4.
To me,
I
don't know. To me, the console wars is always defined by the games because for example, like going even back to Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Aladdin was a different game on both systems. Lion King was a different game on both systems. So like the games is where the true delineation came down, because even though the Xbox Series X is I think the most powerful one this generation, barring PC, we all know PC is always more powerful, but the PlayStation is going to probably kill them on exclusive titles. Now Microsoft, they always have Forza. That's their one exclusive that you can always point to. Gears of War, but when's the last time they did anything with it?
5.
Well, they had Gears 5, but
I think I have 4 or 5, and I haven't even played it.
Dude, it's the same thing with me, and I like Gears of War, but I don't have 4, but it's on Game Pass, so I can easily, because I did get the Game Pass.
All right, so let's go to the chat. There's a couple of good comments. Damon favors PlayStation doesn't have Gears of War or Halo. Lose always. I think that's very correct. I think that's very correct.
Can I put one thing here before anybody goes any farther with it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I've given up the whole war, but I haven't given up the debate, right? The facts that are on the side of just play games or just look at the list. It doesn't matter about the consoles at this point is what they can give us. It is the games. I agree. The top 5 list of video game consoles that have been sold is Sony, PlayStation 2, Nintendo, Wii, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 4, and that's the top 5 list. Number 6 is Xbox. So even though they haven't even reached the top 5 list, like with any of their systems, and it was a 360 that did it, they still here.
Of course.
So at that point, the debate's over. I mean, the war is over. Like they know how to stick around, so that's over and done with. But it is still fun to have that sibling rivalry.
They get to stick around because they're Microsoft.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. They know how to do it.
Yeah. So to me, that's not sticking around because you're innovative. That's because you have enough money to stay in the game as long as you want.
They're still selling enough systems.
I don't know.
To stick around.
I'm not saying that they're not selling systems, but let's not kid ourselves to say that Microsoft has been destroying it in Japan and selling tons of Xboxes in Japan.
Not at all.
They don't.
They don't sell shit in Japan.
But they have long enough money to be like, all right, that didn't work. Let's shift a little bit. We're gonna make another Xbox. Because again, who in their right mind can say, we're going to make the most powerful system ever, but oh, by the way, we're also going to drop this underpowered system.
Right.
But a year later, we're about to bring out the most powerful one.
Yeah,
It's like
that right there is a
crazy.
weird
Right.
decision because, like, if you even look like at the new one, you got the Series S and the Series X, and people were saying why isn't Sony coming out with a lesser and that was like.
It's like, why would they?
No,
do that? And the
not even
thing-
that. They don't have to because the PlayStation 4 is their less one.
Yes.
The games right now
And
are
they're
going to be coming
still
out on
supporting
4
it.
and 5.
Yeah.
They're
going to support it for a year and a half after the release.
Dude, they're going to support it longer than that.
Yeah, Sony has got the
I
best
think they
track
stood
record
about-
on that.
Yeah, so
They
that's
do.
their lesser system. And the games are going to be coming out on both because what I think is end up doing it for a cheap way of making games, you make it for the 4 with enhancements when you play it on the 5. And that's what's going to end up
Right.
happening because you can't make these games look better. They're going to run better. When I say look better, dude, I'm not talking about because you're going to say, oh, 4K, 8K, whatnot. Regardless of that, human eyeballs don't really see that shit.
I don't know,
60
man.
frames a second is where it's at. So if a game is being played at either 1080p 60 frames constant or 4K constant, that's where you're not going to be like, oh, this one looks a hell of a lot better because you're not going
Right.
to see
But
that
here's-
freaking fidelity. You're
I
just
know-
not going to see
I know we're
it.
almost out of time, but I saw an 8K 60 frame demo the other day. And that, if you see that, that's literally, remember when we
What's
watched?
playing it? Because Crisis can't. With
No.
the freaking
No.
380s.
Crisis
Crisis. I mean, the 380s can't even do Crisis
Nah,
at
they
8K.
were testing. I forgot what game he was playing, but they were testing out the RTX 3090. Everything was highest levels and whatever.
Yeah, and it probably looks really good. But what I'm getting at is
remember Casino Royale?
Yeah.
DVD
Things
versus
look
Blu-ray.
more
It
crisp.
was that much of a jump.
Yeah, things
Really?
look more crisp because you can see that. Like, just take Grand Theft Auto 5 for example. Look at that on PlayStation 3. And look at it on like a high-end PC. They look completely different, but the gameplay is still there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if the PlayStation 3 one's running at 60 frames a second, but if it could, run at 60 frames a second, it's not like, oh my gosh, I need this one because it's doing 10,000 times better than what this one is doing. Is what I'm saying. So like,
I got you.
You know what? I'm gonna let Fallen have the last word because he really didn't get to say much on this topic. So talk your piece on that, and then we'll move on to the next topic.
So just to be brief on it, I first of all, I just think it's good for the developers, for them to be able to get somewhere to where like they can have bank and hopefully they'll have enough time to crank out new games. That's well for them. It still doesn't. Thankfully, it doesn't change the fact that we're still getting Deathloop and Ghostwire, which both look like promising titles. And however they decide to do it going forward, it'll be interesting. It's just obviously with Xbox, it's like you guys already been saying, they're not really so focused on unit sales on consoles, but more so they're just obviously pushing the service, which in hindsight is a good deal. It just depends on what the majority of the stuff that they have on there, if people are really wanting to play. I think like as far as games, honestly, I can only speak for me personally. What I really want to play for the most part, whatever, will be on PS5, and that's what I'm going with. But I know people are going to have preference, but I know Bethesda is a big company. They put out some pretty good titles that people follow. And, I'd say that this is a win for Bethesda. Microsoft, granted, they have like a whole lot of other stuff or whatever they have already. But again, we haven't really seen a whole lot from a lot of those companies quite yet. But it's nice that they're getting that bank and they're getting paid to have their stuff on the service. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to the games and what people are really going to want to get. And I know like some people argue that like Sony raising theirs like $10 extra or whatever. It's been like 2.5 generations later or whatever. Like it's
Yeah, man. You just pay like $80 for cartridges, man. I don't want to hear that noise.
We're expecting that price jump, but
Right.
the thing is, what I find funny is that people think that that's going to like completely kill physical media, and it's like, no, it's not. Like, the thing is, like, I don't see like everyone going completely digital, like, because the thing is that like you're gonna have folks like me and Dido and definitely a sizable group of others that prefer getting a brand new game in their hands, breaking the packaging open, whatever. Whether we have to install it or whatever, that's another debate. But again, going all digital, that's nice, and that's cool. It's convenient. Don't get me wrong, but at some point, especially if you still have a whole lot of games to play, you're gonna need the hard drive space for all of that.
So speaking of hard drive space, this just in real quick. Last thing before we switch over, because we just got it in here. According to ebgames.com.au, which is Australian EB Games, the price for the friggin' 1 terabyte expansion card for the Series X and S has been announced, and that's what it is right there.
You have to read off the price, man.
It's $359.95 Australian dollars. Australian dollars, mind you. So that's about $250 US.
Oh, thank you. Because I was just getting ready to calculate that. $250 for a damn 100 terabyte?
No,
man.
No.
I can do that. I can do
1
better on that on my own.
No.
I can do better than that on my own. But I don't need that shit.
Proprietary.
Oh, it's proprietary. So
Yes.
See, that's some bullshit, man. I don't want to
So
hear
all
that.
Sony has to do is like the PS3 to the PS4, put in whatever drive
Whatever
you want,
exposure you want.
as long as it fits.
2.5.
If they do that, I don't think they're doing that either.
Oh, who knows?
They do it already.
No. Not in the PlayStation 5.
I'm saying if the 5,
yeah,
I'm saying if the 5 is going to have that, that would be the smart thing to do. But we'll see. Who knows? What's up to Sharita Jackson over there on Facebook? How you doing?
The chat is going crazy. We love everybody going out there and, having, putting all their comments in there. Sorry that we couldn't get to them all, but maybe we can revisit the topic when later in the show in the Power is Yours segment. But for right now, let's talk some MCU. GQ?
Well, I mean, since we're talking about big companies doing big things, we have to definitely look at the fact that the MCU movies got pushed back because, 2020 COVID and all that other craziness has pretty much put a monkey wrench in a lot of stuff. And like I've been saying, companies that have tentpole movies need tentpole money. And theaters are where you get that tentpole money. So Black Widow has been pushed back, I believe, to next May, 2021.
Shakes
and
fist.
a bunch of other stuff has been pushed back off of that schedule. So like I've been saying, regardless of them doing Mulan for $30, that they made money, but they didn't make what they need to make.
Right.
So
yeah, man. You and I, we were on the same page on that one.
I've been
like
telling people.
it's just like
who's that?
I can't see it. I'll have to relay there. Well, whoever that was that gave us a like or a follow, we appreciate you.
We need a screen
We
devoted
need
to
a screen
that.
devoted to that, and we will get that. But anyway, like I was saying, that whole there's a lot of debate about the Mulan thing, but what's not, and some people were saying, I think Dido was one of them. That's why he's shaking his fist. He was hoping that Black Widow will come on to Disney Plus.
No. I'm
sorry. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I'm just saying. Okay.
I'm shaking my fist because I wanted to see that damn movie this year.
Oh, okay. I hear you.
I'm going to tell you something. I do like to go to the theaters for those tentpole movies. I used to love going to theaters for all movies, but because of COVID, they got rid of my favorite movie theater, the cheapest goddamn price around. Nobody went to this movie theater, so therefore I didn't have people sitting next to me. I could freaking, and it was stadium seating. Yes, the chairs needed to be redone, but I don't care.
Ever.
It needed
My
to be redone.
God.
But
Hold on. The chairs, leave it at no. What? This is more than just the chairs.
it was
The
more than
floor-
chairs.
The floor needed to be redone.
Yeah, man.
the whole thing needed to be redone, regardless, because it's over 20-year-old theater.
That theater probably had COVID-14.
Yeah. But those type of movies do bring me to the theater. I will be there day of watching those movies, as I always have and I always will. I am not a stickler for certain movies. Certain movies I can watch at home. It does not bother me.
Agreed.
And some movies I do want to see in the theater. And I'm just shaking my fist because I wanted to see it. It was supposed to come out in the theater this year. I wanted to see it.
Yeah,
Now I gotta wait till May of next year? Like, why didn't they put it?
Okay.
Well,
don't
the sad
argue.
part
Don't
about
argue. Don't argue.
the sadder part about that is they're probably trying to estimate when we will be able to do things like that again. And if they're saying May, then they have a horrible outlook of the next few months.
Hey,
But-
we might.
I
Well,
mean,
I want to see it in the theater
Well,
too, so
hold
they're
on now,
probably
because-
trying their best to give us that.
Well, I
They
might,
are,
I
'cause
might
I
push
think-
our Disney trip to May of next year then, because that'd be
Ooh.
awesome to see that. At
'Cause, like, I
Disney.
think-
that would be awesome. It would be
Now,
awesome. But
if I remember correctly, I think Eternals is still slated for November.
No. They pushed everything.
Did it?
Everything.
They pushed back
Everything got
everything
pushed
next
back.
year.
Everything
So
back.
I put the
so
dates
that's-
in the channel from Fandango.
So why don't you read it off?
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna,
that's-
let me
yeah.
get these.
All right,
let me get the
we'll
dates.
let him
for
pull
you
it up,
guys.
but you know,
That's
we
an
will
error
have
on my
something
part
to
then.
bridge the gap. We will have something to bridge the gap. What we'll have is that because WandaVision is still coming out this year, later this year, and obviously we saw the trailer a couple of days ago. So we can
December,
talk
I
about
think.
So we can talk about WandaVision a little bit. Of what we saw in the trailer. I think there's a lot of things to unpack in that trailer, especially maybe some of the ties that we're gonna have to other movies. The casting list, we already know that Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch is in it.
Well, hold on real quick. Al Teron Robinson, appreciate you for the follow. That was who followed.
Yes,
But no, as far as the WandaVision thing goes, I don't know if they got the wrong picture or whatever, but they had the Quicksilver from the Fox
Yes, Evan
universe
Peters
in there
Yes.
instead of the one that got killed.
Right.
Because remember the one that got killed in ours was from Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
So they showed the other guy.
They sure did.
Yeah, and that
I
and
saw
and
that.
no, I don't know if that's just a mistake.
No, I don't
or if
think
that's-
so.
Yeah, and
That's
the thing
them
is-
merging them.
Because here's the funny thing: they put his name in there, but they didn't put who he was supposed to be playing.
They sure didn't.
So I'm like, but we know what he is. we
Yeah,
know who he
so-
is. So
I got the dates real quick.
go right ahead, sir.
So for next year, because 2020 is the first year since 2009 with no Marvel movie playing in the theaters. Starting first, of course, is Black Widow, which we got to wait till May 7th of next year. Then Shang-Chi is going to be in July, not too far after Black Widow's cool. Eternals is going to be November 5th of 2021. The next Spider-Man movie, they say, is December 17th of 2021. Thor, Love and Thunder is February 11th of 2022. And then Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness is March 25th, 2022. And this is coming from Fandango. So it has to be a credible source because that's what they do is movies.
Yep.
Fandango, send us a check. No.
Now,
well, it'd be nice.
right. So Rigor Mortis is asking out of the chat, who is he playing? We don't know. The speculation is that he's going to be playing the Fox version of Quicksilver, which is, everything, which would be, absolutely wild because that's like acknowledgement of the Foxmen, X-Men movies.
But
And
that's also messed up. That means that she didn't like her brother that much. She's gonna bring him back as a different person. She's gonna bring him back as a different version of himself.
Right. But
yeah.
there's a couple other things to kind of unpack from that WandaVision trailer. Well, we also had Monica Rambeau. You saw her in the trailer as well.
Agatha Harkness.
Agatha Harkness, who is related to Reed Richards.
Yes, the Reed Richards nanny. I read
Reed
about
Richards
this.
nanny, yeah.
But the thing that has tripped me out because I was having talks with Big Preem about this, and he was saying stuff about the pocket universe and blah blah blah. But then I started reading about Scarlet Witch, and she can't create a pocket universe, but Franklin Richards can.
Franklin Richards can. She can alter reality.
Yeah, but
Right?
that's not
You
pocket
know.
universe.
Yeah, no, it's not a pocket universe.
All right, Fallen, enjoy jump in because I see you chomping at the bit.
And Sword, yes.
Yeah. Yes. No. The thing is, I don't know much about the Evan Peters thing. I mean, I know like if there was any images or whatever, they couldn't have captured it from the trailer because I've been backwards and forward with it. I see nothing of him. So
That's off of
We just got-
IMDb.
No, they don't even
No,
have him listed on
right.
IMDb. But I saw
It was
what
on
you were talking
it was on
about,
Google.
though.
It was on the Google cast list.
right.
All
So I don't. So that could be just fan casting stuff or whatever, as far as we know. So like we just. I mean, I don't know. Like I kind of hope not, but then again, I mean, I'm sure that they have a plan on what they want to do with it or whatever, so on and so forth. Overall, though, I'm very much looking forward to seeing this show because it looks trippy, and we obviously get a chance to see like how her powers are evolving instead of just up to this point, folks just it's probably what like more or less minor telepathy and mostly telekinesis that we've only seen up to this
Well,
point.
All I can say
So-
is they got Kat Dennings in the show, so they got my attention now.
Yes, they do.
And Randall Park's Jimmy Woo as well.
No, Kat Dennings, dude.
I know. No, I know. I get it. I hear you.
Randall
I hear
Park.
you.
I
hear
bring
you.
up an attractive young woman. You're gonna bring up Randall Park? Really?
I mean,
Speaks volumes.
I guess they have to try to like do something to kind of link to the whole like Ant-Man thing, just
Right.
bring up the quantum realm and all that. So
But the rumor that Doctor Strange is also in this movie kind of ties. Wanda's supposed to be in the upcoming Doctor Strange sequel as well.
Which would be awesome.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And
They
we
said
talked about.
that-
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, dog.
No, go
I
ahead.
was saying like they said before that initially that this is supposed to directly connect to Multiverse of Madness. So if he
Because-
does show up, I mean, obviously, yeah, like it makes sense.
And when we've seen a recent rumor that is said that Tom Cruise is supposed to play an alternate universe Tony Stark in the Doctor Strange movie. Now, how meta would that be? That would be because like a lot of people were casting him as Tony Stark a long time ago.
True.
He can pull it off.
Well, he was the first choice at one point, wasn't he?
I don't know about that.
I don't know, but Schindler said that they changed Rhodey from Iron Man 1 to Iron Man 2, like he was Darren from Bewitched. So, I guess if they want to change people up, they can change people up.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, absolutely. John P says hearing about Killmonger getting a possible spinoff film. It's got to be a prequel because that boy, you don't get no data. Then he,
I don't know.
According
Wakanda's
to our
interesting.
favorite website that likes to make
no,
things.
stop. Don't even mention that name.
Yeah, I
Don't
won't mention
even
their name, but they say that, and this was 4 months ago, they knew that Evan Peters was in WandaVision, but they say that he's not being Quicksilver, that he's probably going to be Mephisto.
Yeah,
Mephisto,
that was
Mephisto.
the other rumor that I heard that he's going to be Mephisto, which would be pretty wild. You know?
If it is, then we're going to have to give that place credit.
No.
Well, Iguana Man over on Twitch is saying the big gap of time between MCU movies is going to push demand through the roof. Going to be so much speculation, it's going to make him billions. And that might be true.
Right.
Because people are going to be clamoring for their MCU fix, especially after Endgame left everybody just like
Hanging.
elated. Like,
You know, and
Man.
WandaVision is going to be our first taste, right? And then early next year we get Falcon and Winter Soldier.
They pushed that too.
Yes, they did. They
was
they
supposed
pushed
to be
that to
out in
early.
August.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
No
early next year.
way.
It's going to be
They pushed everything.
Falcon and Winter Soldier now.
well, y'all better get to the main
So,
event. 'Cause
yeah.
This one's going to have to carry on in the chat.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot to talk about with the MCU. There's a lot to talk about with the Xbox. So keep the comments coming in the chat. We will definitely revisit them all. But right now, it's time to talk about some TV themes. All right, everybody. So the reason we kind of came up with this topic, right? Everybody remembers back in the 80s, the dope theme songs were kind of like all the rage. It didn't matter what show it was. An iconic TV show had an iconic theme. Dynasty, Knight Rider, Airwolf.
Give me a break.
You on your own. Now. You on your own. now.
Give Me a
Yeah,
Break
you
was
on-
catchy, though.
Yeah.
It was catchy. And see, and you bring it up, right? What makes a good theme song is it's
Bosom
catchy.
buddies.
Nah, you definitely
Just stop. Just stop.
Hey,
Just stop.
John P. hit it right on the head, right there. Golden
Thank
Girls.
Golden Girls. Thank you for being a friend. I mean, there you go. So anyway, what the hell happened to TV theme songs? Like with the advent of streaming services, a lot of shows don't even bother with theme songs anymore. They kind of just get straight to the point and just go. You know, like think of like some of the more recent streaming shows that you've had. Like, what of any of their theme songs really even stand
For example, like I think what you lose with some of them is a lot of theme songs don't have themes. Like they don't have a
Right.
singing. Like a lot of the shows had stuff that like brought up like something from the show or the idea of the show was delivered in the song. Like Greatest American Hero had that.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
cheesy as hell, but the song kind of gave you the setup for the show.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
A-Team was, even though A-Team didn't have like
No lyrics or anything, like
but the theme
catchy as
worked,
hell.
right?
Yeah.
Daredevil is like, now granted, Daredevil has a cool theme, but I
it's not-
I couldn't hum it or whistle it right now.
I mean, I
because
could, but
I
it's
don't
just
remember.
like, it's not. It doesn't stand out. It doesn't
They won't
last. You
remember.
know what I
I
mean?
mean,
It's not.
yeah.
It's not. There you go. Thank you. It's not memorable, right?
Memorable.
Like,
I mean, Luke
right,
Cage,
like
Luke
DuckTales,
Cage's theme
exactly.
song is in my playlist, so I'm just saying.
Luke Cage's theme song was pretty cool. Out of all the Netflix shows, his theme was probably the better one, right? So.
Yeah.
But like, what about the Big Show show? I don't even know that theme song.
Right.
And
It should have been was the Big Show, you know.
Right.
But anyway,
Preem brings up a good one on Twitch. Knight Rider didn't have any lyrics. It's one of the coldest themes.
one of the coolest
It
things.
is.
It
is.
You can think of the same thing with like, you know, okay, and even a show that might not even be iconic could still have a really dope theme song. So I'm thinking of like Street Hawk. Street Hawk had a dope theme. It wasn't really a great show, but what makes me love the show so much is because the theme when they would play the theme, even when he hits hyperdrive, it was just a cool theme. I loved it.
I mean, cartoons did it best.
Cartoons did do it best. You're right.
They
Ninja
did.
Turtles, Thundercats.
Yep.
Even G.I. Joe. Like G.I. Joe told you what
it was
the
about.
show was about
Was
in
about.
the theme song.
Yes, they did.
Transformers is like you're gonna watch anyway because it's Transformers.
Right.
Like Transformers is like, look, here's some music.
Right.
Robots in disguise.
Right.
Get on with it. And that was pretty much like all of those shows had their theme songs basically like delivered either what the show was going to be about, or it just made it was like, look, the show is on. Get your butt in front of the TV, because like Knight Rider, like you knew Knight Rider. Like Knight Rider, you hear a little lick of it, and you're like, "Oh dang, Knight Rider's on! I'm gonna get downstairs."
And how many times has Knight Rider been sampled by hip hop artists for over the years?
Busta Rhymes did it best.
He did. You were absolutely right. He
I'm just gonna
did.
put that out there.
So yeah, but I'm just saying. So
Fab Nerd Life said Jessica Jones won an award. I don't remember her song.
her theme is not memorable.
I honestly
I'm sorry, it's not.
No, I know
can't
it. It's playing in my head now.
Okay.
It sounds like one of those
Like
crime,
mystery.
like old mystery things. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, that one's in there. But it just what everybody's saying, like you mentioning new theme songs, and that's cool and dandy. Some of them can be Jessica Jones. I can remember that one, so that one's rememberable.
But are you going to remember
they're
20
not,
years from now?
Who knows? But
Right.
they're not like Golden Girls. They're not like Teenage Mutant Ninja
Right.
Turtles. It's not like Bonkers.
or what was the other one? What was the other
Eugene Maddox.
Freakazoid.
Eugene.
Freakazoid, Animaniacs,
Animaniacs.
Tiny
Exactly.
Toons.
Tiny Toons definitely.
They were there. They're stuck.
Maddox
Even now,
Mike
you
Ford.
just pull them up.
All right, so I mean, there's a lot of them out there. Like we could think of, TV
X-Men.
shows even in the last 20, like even 10 years, we might struggle to find a top 10. I could think of maybe 2 or 3 right off the top of my head. Game of Thrones is probably one. There's Breaking Bad's theme was another one.
Who's the Sons of Anarchy theme?
I can't tell you.
Well, I'm about to break all of that because I just messed up. I did the thing where I looked up a trusted top 100 list. So I'm on IMDb.
Okay.
I'm on the 100 greatest TV theme songs popularity list. Number 1 is The New Girl. Number 2 is The Sopranos.
is New
Number
Girl?
3 is
the Fox show with Zoe
it's great.
Deschanel.
Don't worry about it. I love
New
it.
Girl.
Her,
Who's
so
that
it's fine.
girl? It's
Number
Jess.
3 is The X-Files. Number 4 is
X-Files was a good
Seinfeld. And number 5 is The Fresh Prince.
Well, Fresh Prince.
Fresh
I
Prince
guess
works.
That shouldn't surprise anybody though.
But some of them other
New
ones
Girl
are like
surprises.
some of those
That
other
should
ones are
be-
like okay.
That should be that should be number 1. Not because of even who he is or what it was.
But let's be
you
clear.
can hear any of that and know what's happening.
Let's be clear. Any of those lists will be full of recency bias. Full of them. So we can't necessarily lean on that. But like I was saying,
With the New Girl?
this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
New Girl shouldn't even be on there
show,
because
too.
it's all this. Who's that girl? It's just. That's it.
Yes.
Wow.
That's literally it.
I don't know.
It was
King the
great,
King
though.
brought up
The whole
Galaxy
show was
Rangers
great.
theme
Don't-
song.
don't-
Yeah, Galaxy Rangers theme song was dope.
I don't know that one. I only know 2 of them. Go Go Power Rangers, which was the original one, and Stronger Than Before.
Wow.
I
I think you're confusing Galaxy Rangers with the Power Rangers, sir.
What are you talking about?
No, that was the
I
Zeo
said I
theme,
don't
dude.
know Galaxy Rangers. I know Power Rangers. That's what I said. I'm not confusing anything. How am I confused? I don't
All
know
right,
Galaxy.
okay.
I didn't
Yeah,
watch
okay.
Galaxy.
Okay,
After
okay,
Zeo,
okay,
I
okay.
stopped watching Power Rangers.
Before we
Okay,
forget,
okay,
because
okay.
we got a little bit of show left.
RPM is stupid.
I definitely want y'all to bring up the theme song that your uncle, Daitakuji.
Yeah, talk about your
Yeah,
uncle.
talk about your uncle because
All right.
he was in town, what, a month ago?
Yeah,
Dang, that's crazy.
it was a month ago, which it
it
let
a
it
month
feel like
ago?
it was a
Yeah.
month ago today, 30 days ago today.
shit, really?
100% sure.
Wow.
So anyway, my uncle is a musician, professional musician. He goes by the moniker of Chazzy Green. You can look him up. He did some theme songs in the 80s. He played one of his things that I wouldn't say he's famous for, but he is. Ray Parker Jr. is one of his good friends.
Let's see if the people in the chat can actually figure out what he's
Yeah,
playing.
we're gonna figure that out in a second, but I'm gonna set him up real quick. So Ray Parker Jr. is one of his friends. So he is on the Ghostbusters album. He's playing the saxophone and the keyboards in the actual song for the movie. But he also did the theme song for Ghostbusters, the TV show that we used to watch as a kid. And he also did the theme song for a show that I loved as a kid. I mentioned it. You probably guys, I don't know if you remember, but we're gonna show him playing because what I did is I asked him. I said, being a professional musician, do you remember everything that you play? And he says, yeah, I do. And I was like, could you play that one song that I liked as a kid? And he was like, all right, just let me hear it. Here you go. He heard it for a little bit, and then he busted it out. So we have that video of him actually playing it.
Who remembers it? I want to see who gets it in the chat first.
Yeah, I played that song.
I know.
I had to have an attitude.
If you watch a lot of Nick at Night, you know what it is.
King Takeem got it.
King
Takeem got it. Dennis the Menace.
I loved that show growing up. And when I found out my
Hey,
uncle
he
was the one that's
slapped
doing
that
it,
in
I was like,
quick.
wow, that's like even more crazier. Galaxy Rangers has nothing to do with Power Rangers. I'm sorry, I guess that's the problem.
Wow. But no, like, and again, and just like I said, the fact that that's in your family and that's somebody that plays it is
That's
cool.
something else, man.
Yeah.
But it's also just like, again, that's one that, like, even without like any prompts from the show, seeing the intro, nothing, people knew what it was, or at least King Takeem knew what it
Yeah.
was. Like if you, like you said, if you played New Girl for me, I'd be like, okay,
Okay,
like,
so
know what
like,
it is
what is this from?
I got a question for everybody on the panel, and y'all can answer this for me. So, can a TV show theme make the show better than it actually is?
All I have to say
Yeah.
is
Give me an example of that, please. I want to hear it. What's an example of of a theme making a show better?
Well, let's see.
Oh, you
No
ain't got time to let's see.
game, no
Let's
life.
got to be top of
You're
the
right.
list.
Anime,
Exactly.
We on the time
I
schedule.
put you on the spot.
Okay,
Let's go.
Go ahead, King.
I mean, anime is like a good example because like they're like kind of like trash shows that have like really good intros.
Chala, head chala.
No, that's not a trash show, and I love
trash
that.
show, though.
Dude, but I love it.
I love the theme.
I love
though.
that theme
I do
song.
love the theme. Though.
The best
Yeah.
anime theme song still to me is probably Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah.
But
no
Ranma,
question.
Ranma one half
But
had
you-
a whole bunch of good ones that still stuck in my head.
But I'm saying it's got to be. Can a theme song
Make the show better?
The show
No.
better than it is.
No.
Like okay, so if a show is absolutely trash, but you love the theme song, would you watch the show in spite of that?
No.
Just because the theme is cool.
I can't think of any shows that I watch.
Colin said apparently that yes, there can be.
what
So
show-
I'm
what's-
waiting to hear him say it.
What's a show that you watched just for the theme song? Because I can't think of anything.
The Drew Carey show, to name one. That
Cleveland Rocks?
show was
Really?
weird.
I've never watched it.
I never watched that
the
show.
Drew
I
Carey
watched
show.
it once in a while, but it wasn't something that I watch every week.
Rick and Morty brings up an
Catchy
interesting
stuff.
one. He
That
said his
was
kid plays the clarinet, put him up on the Night
Oh,
Court
yeah.
theme.
That Night Court theme.
Yeah,
was
Night Court
dope
theme.
as
Yeah, I
hell.
love Night Court.
Not only that, Richard Mall was Two-Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Duran Duran's Speed Grapher. That was like the first time I think I heard a real song used in an anime opening that was not a Japanese real song. That you know,
Since we're running low on time, here's what I'm going to throw in there real quick. I think the reason we're losing theme songs, or at least they're not as prevalent as they used to be, is you have to think of it this way. The average theme song on a show took up anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute and some change of the show time. So I think a lot of producers, a lot of actors and all that other stuff, like, look, we want to get to the show. So we're going to cut back on the theme song. Because even as you got into later seasons of stuff, they would just hit you with a couple licks of the theme and then jump right into the show. It wasn't even about like the theme song anymore. Like
Yeah.
Golden Girls was an exception. It was like, look, damn it, we paid for this song. We're going to run this song every single beginning, every damn episode. Y'all going to sit through it. I think Married with Children is a classic example. Married with
Yes.
Children used to have that long-ass theme
Yes.
song. And then eventually they was like, skip
Yes.
it. You know the show. Married with Children, show the fountain to get turned off.
Right.
Sung along with it every time.
Exactly.
Yeah, like here's a perfect example, like a recent show like The Boys. The Boys don't have a theme. Like they literally just play songs in the middle of it, hit you with the splash title card, and let's go.
Yeah.
We
Fat
can't-
Man
we
Life
can't
said Mad
do boys
Men,
right
Mad
now.
Men theme song is better than the show.
never watched Mad.
You know, I
Men.
never watched Mad Men, but I've heard a lot of people say they love the theme.
The theme
So,
song was dope.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna hit the power is yours early because there's a lot of stuff going on in the chat that we kind of want to talk about.
The power is yours!
Hey, Dido.
Yeah,
Speed grabber. That's the thing with the dude with the camera and that
Yeah.
weird, super wet ass rubber guy, right?
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while though, but
Oh God, I
Yeah,
forgot about
in Japan, they had the Duran Duran song was
Yeah.
Girls on Film,
Girls.
but they
Girls on
changed it
Film.
to something different here because I guess like licensing and
it
whatnot.
changed it to something garbage. But what I find is hilarious is that most anime, the opening theme songs are from real bands, like Death Note. Man, that was
Oh yeah, they're notorious for that over in Japan.
what you call it? The Hormone. What is it? What are they called? God, I listen to their freaking music. Is something a hormone? I don't know why I can't think of
Something
it.
a hormone.
King
okay.
to King brought up Denver the
I'm gonna
Last
bring it.
Dinosaur, which is a good one.
I like Denver, the
Q,
Last Dinosaur.
Q from Q Reviews. How you
Oh,
doing
I
over there at
heard Last
Facebook? Brought up 227.
Yeah, 227. That song gets stuck in my head every once
227
in
and
a while.
Amen. Both of those had like
And that
catchy,
one gets stuck in
catchy
my
theme
head
songs.
too.
Are you kidding me? Speed Racer is number 93 on this list.
I don't
Recency
remember.
bias, man.
I honestly don't remember Speed Racer.
Speed Racer
I
is such a
remember it.
Let's go Speed Racer. That's a cute
Go Speed Racer. Go
Again,
Speed
I,
Racer.
you have to
know what's
remember.
funny?
You have to remember.
You know what's funny?
I didn't
Like,
like
that
Speed Racer when
version
it
is
was.
I didn't really watch it. So.
Like the
Speed Racer is
Japanese
neat.
version of that theme is like a little more catchy to me, which is kind of crazy. Even though
Nah,
you're
here's
doing
why I didn't like Speed
Go,
Racer.
go,
Speed
go,
Racer,
go,
Speed
go.
Racer had the same problem that Dora the
Maximum the
Explorer.
Hormone. Sorry.
Maximum the Hormone.
Maximum the Hormone. They did like the 2 opening theme songs for Speed Grapher. They did
The name,
the
dude.
Airmaster.
I mean, but in Japan, that's a whole industry.
Yeah,
Like,
but no.
every-
What I'm saying is when they brought it over here, they didn't change their songs. They
yeah.
kept the songs the same, and they had to They had to have licensed those songs
Sure.
to be over here, so they could have
Honestly,
licensed Speed.
That's part of the reason why K-pop blew up so much, because K-pop and J-pop blew up over here, was because they didn't alter the theme songs, except for Dragon Ball Z with Rock the Dragon. Like,
That was dope.
Dude,
I love
Rock the Dragon was
I
sweet.
love
I
Cha
ain't
La,
gonna lie.
but Rock the Dragon was freaking
sweet. I'm
awesome.
not gonna lie.
I don't know. I mean, like, here's why I didn't like Speed Racer. Speed Racer had the same problem that Dora the Explorer had. Everybody yelled when they talked. It's like, what the hell are y'all yelling for?
Or when Speed will open, it's like, oh,
Right.
you know,
That
all the
was
time.
just
Like,
annoying.
the
Yeah,
over
it's
dramatic
crazy.
animation, like the over dramatic voice acting in that show is like what kind of gives it. Its
Oh,
charm.
dude, yes,
I agree.
classic
It's extra-
70s
it's
voice
dated.
acting.
It's
Yes.
dated, but like it's so over dramatic, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
John P. was thinking how perfect Avengers Endgame release date was before COVID-19 happened. Flawless timing.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. It'll be almost 2 years the next time we see an MCU movie from the time that Endgame came out.
Yeah, but people keep forgetting about Spider-Man came out after Endgame.
It
That's
did.
true. That's true. It did.
It's like,
That's true.
It wasn't
That is
just
true.
Endgame.
You're
That was
right.
it. You had a Spider-Man movie. Was it that bad?
You're
No,
not
that's
true.
not, no, that again.
No,
home,
no, not
It
at
was
all.
just because
Far From
Spider-Man
Home
was
was
in
yeah,
the
exactly.
Endgame.
So I would keep
That's all
forgetting
it was.
about it.
Oh, Far From Home was the first $1 billion Spider-Man movie. So
Yeah,
no,
that's
nobody's
More, it was like somebody played a Cannon Buster thing. Like
That one
what
plays
was
in
that?
my head every once in a
The
while.
Cannon
too.
Buster thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad, but
Yeah.
You
I
know what
enjoyed the
theme I
anime
can't get
camp.
out of my head now, and it's a pretty current one. Is the full size intro from Assassination Classroom.
I don't even remember that one. And I watched all the
Assassination
Assassin's
was good.
Classroom.
Yeah.
Well, it was the
Watched
very
a
first
lot of
I
intro.
things
watched all
were
of
good.
it. I can't remember it.
Yeah, a lot of the themes are good. But no, so does anybody else, revisiting any of the earlier topics that we were talking about and things that you kind of want to discuss that we didn't really get to? Like one of the things we talked about, right? And I don't remember us even talking about it, was how when the Xbox pre-orders came out and after they sold real fast, a bunch of Xbox One X's went up what was like
yeah.
727% on
it's
Amazon.
More so many people were buying these Xbox One X's, probably thinking they were Xbox Series
Series
X.
X's, yes.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, bro.
What about the people who actually kind of knew what they were trying to get, but were in so much of a rush, got the wrong one, and missed
Yeah.
it?
How many of them might have been bots too? How many of them
I
might have
don't
been
know.
bots?
All I can say is
Probably
Microsoft needs to work on that because this last generation is like all your system names are too close together. They are
the naming
literally too close together.
The naming convention over there is absolutely terrible. That's
Yeah,
They
why
should have just called it the Scarlet.
I agree with you guys. I think they should have been calling them different names at all, but I also think Sony should have, after the PlayStation 3, and I'm going to tell you why my thing is, PlayStation 4 shouldn't have been a PlayStation 4. I know why it was, but it shouldn't because it's not a true sequel. And the PlayStation 5 should not be called PlayStation 5, or maybe it should be the sequel to what the 4 should have been. And the reason why I say that is because you had the PlayStation. PlayStation 2 was a sequel to the PlayStation 1, being the fact that it played 1 and 2. PlayStation 3 was a sequel to the PlayStation 1 and the 2 because it played 1, 2, and 3. PlayStation 4 ended that. So they shouldn't even call it PlayStation 4. They should have called it something else.
Why?
I just told you why. Because he couldn't play the other game.
But the thing is,
it's not a true sequel.
You're solely basing this off of backwards compatibility.
Yes,
exactly.
It's not a true sequel. It's not a true sequel. Therefore, they needed to call it something else.
So what's the difference between the SNES and the NES then?
Right. All the Terminator sequels are sequels.
Well, they didn't establish backwards compatibility back in the Nintendo games. So I don't fault them. I agree. They sure did. They called it the Super Nintendo, and they didn't establish backwards compatibility. Those motherfuckers established backwards compatibility with that part 2, that part 3, and then they just dropped it on and say, "Fuck you guys, you ain't getting shit."
You know, when you die, I hope someone takes your brain and really examines it. 'Cause, man, some of that stuff is just really
the structure of the PlayStation 2 was super basic compared to how much of a jump and what compared to the 2, the 3 was a computer.
I know that the cell processor was one of the reasons why the freaking third-party games sucked on the PlayStation 3, because the third parties, they could not put the time and effort as the first party could, and it was easier to do it on Xbox 360. That's why most Xbox 360 games ran better than the PlayStation 3. I get why they did that. I'm not faulting for them why they did it, but there are works around that. There's software friggin' emulation they could have done. I don't even want to talk about that right now.
Needs more hardware.
I don't even need to.
John P.
Talking about what
you know about that net Eurose, yo.
I ain't gonna lie. I remember when they first showed pictures of that thing. I wanted that thing.
This is a cool looking freaking system.
It looked great, but the thing is, it wasn't really a system. It was just a dev kit. That's all it was.
And you still not getting
everybody
one now.
fucking wanted
No, of course not.
Because it's still freaking $700,000 for one.
Yeah, it's a little.
You know what's funny too, and like me and Gypsy was looking this up. Like, if you actually look at the design for like the original dev kit for the Series X, like the alleged one, like that actually has like a sexy of like what they have now. Like it's it's like, because everybody was clowning like the dev kit for the PS5 because everybody said it looked like a vacuum cleaner. Granted, it did. So, but it was just a dev kit. It wasn't going to be the final design, but it's like for the Series X, the dev kit on net, like it actually had a more workable design. It didn't look like a giant block. And it's like, dude, like, how come you guys like? I mean, look,
building blocks, man.
I mean, I guess if they were taking that, I just found it interesting. I just found it interesting personally that they would go with the design they went with or whatever. Because, like, I mean, it's like, look, I get you guys are trying to be different, but like the placing for that is going to be a bitch.
For the PS5?
Well, I mean, for both technically, but more so for the Xbox because of how wide it is.
Yeah.
Got a question for you chatters out there in the chats. So we're talking about the theme songs again because I've noticed somebody saying it's Darkwing. Which Disney cartoon had the best theme song? Was it Darkwing? Was it DuckTales? I mean, Gargoyles didn't have any singing in it, but it was freaking dope.
No, okay. So I mean, would it be easier to rank them, or you just want to know which one?
I don't know what they think is the best one out there. Tailspin.
I don't know. Goof Troop.
Tailspin shouldn't even be near the top to me. Tailspin should not be near the top. To me, the top 3 Disney afternoon theme songs: DuckTales, Goof Troop.
Tailspin. Where's Tailspin?
You know, DuckTales, Goof Troop, and Darkwing Duck. Those should be the top 3. Those are my top 3.
You want to hear something interesting about Goof Troop?
No, bruh. I used to love Tailspin when I was a kid, but it has not aged well for me. No, I used to love it as a kid, but it has not aged well for me.
Tailspin sounded like something you would hear. You walked into a particular lounge.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. Or Rainforest Cafe or some shit like that.
But that was fine. Yeah. That's what made that song great. I don't know what you're talking about. You smoking something.
So what would be your top 3 then?
DuckTales is always at the top because that's the easiest one to remember for sure. Chippendales Rescue Rangers is in there, and Tailspin. Yeah. Like, again, Goof Troop was good, but I never liked the show.
I didn't like the show either, but the theme was dope.
Yeah. Well, again, you want to know something about the theme song? Like that. Phil Perry sang the Goof Troop theme song. For you anime fans out there, you remember Riding Bean? Riding Bean has some music that was playing in it. One of the songs was also song, actually 2 of the songs. The ending song to Riding Bean, and one of the songs in the beginning. Shit. So he did like 3 songs in there. It was all sung by Phil Perry as well.
He ain't as great as Stan Bush, though.
Well,
Stan Bush got one song.
Excuse me?
You got the touch.
Excuse me.
the Gummy
When was the
Bears.
last time you watched Bloodsport? Or
Dude, Stan
Kickboxer?
Bush.
Yeah, it doesn't
Stan
stand out
Bush
like
was
Transformers,
literally-
dude.
Right.
Dude,
Touch-
Stan
it don't
Bush
stand
like,
touch-
was like
touch-
the
No, Touch is
soundtrack
legendary.
You got
in the 80s.
What'd you say, Fallen?
Like Stan Bush was like the soundtrack movie theme king in the 80s. Like
Yeah, Stan Bush was a legend, dude.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on.
He also did Rocky
Transformers.
4.
like Rocky 4, like Kickboxer, Bloodsport.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't singing them, though, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
hold on. Vince DiCola
Seeing
did
Gummy
Rocky
Bears in the
4.
chat.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Vince DiCola did the
Transformers
soundtrack,
were-
but he didn't do the vocals. That was more. Was Frank Stallone
Yeah.
did one, but I think Stan Bush did do one in Rocky. I
He
don't
probably
know which one
did. He probably did Hearts on Fire, I think it was
Yes,
one he did.
that was it. That was it.
Yeah.
It was Hearts on Fire.
Gummy Bears. Marcus Pryor, Gummy Bears had a great theme,
It
but I
did.
never liked the show.
See, that's another
Gummy
instance. Okay,
Bear,
can an intro for a show make a show better than the
See,
better
here's
than
the
the
thing.
show
Here's the
is?
thing. Does
Well,
that?
we said Goof Troop. We said
Here's the
Goof
thing.
Troop.
The intro came on and I changed the channel. That's not necessarily a good thing.
Right.
I think it
The
got
intro was a cue to change the channel.
when Robot Chicken gave us the Gummy Bear. I think everything previous Gummy Bear knowledge was
Ooh.
erased because I cannot remember the theme
That's a
song.
good one.
Oh, it's Gummy Bears
Yeah, that's
bouncing here and there and
Yeah,
everywhere.
no,
King's got a good one.
King
So-
King brought up
right.
a good one. Wolverine Solid X actually mentioned this one earlier on in the chat too. G.I. Joe the movie's theme versus the touch.
Oh, yeah. G.I. Joe, the movie thing was freaking
Movie
dope.
theme was
though.
way better.
I'm biased.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna throw something in the chat for. Well,
I'm going with the touch.
it'll be on the YouTube chat, I guess, because
Yeah,
It's easy to find
it's hard
YouTube.
for me to go against Cobra, man. As much as I love the touch, as a kid, but that god dang that intro was banging.
yeah, because Mike Bison challenged me to take the G.I. Joe theme song and do something with it. So this is what I do. I'm gonna throw it in the chat for y'all.
Uh-oh.
It's for the YouTube.
You know what? You know a thing that like comes to mind that didn't have any lyrics, but like the cinematic like feel of it like just worked was Hercules' Legendary Journeys.
Yes,
The song
yes,
for that was actually
yes.
pretty awesome.
yes.
And it's like
Dun,
'cause, like,
dun, 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 dun. Yeah,
it's
dude.
ironic because
All right.
like Xena came along and kind of stole the show's thunder,
Show
but like
did.
its theme.
All right, so that
The song-
YouTube link is in there for y'all, and I don't know for anybody.
No, the say Marcus Spear Pryor says Herc is my show. Not anymore. Kevin Sorbo has just like gone completely off the deep end. I can't watch Hercules anymore.
Because he's a nut.
He's a nut job. Can't
That,
do it.
again,
Can't do
that,
it.
that don't mean that the show is any different.
You can
Just
watch
like-
the old show.
Right, the
Walking
show
Dead
itself.
does have a classic theme.
I don't
So,
even remember it.
The Walking Dead has a dope theme. So does Magnum PI. There's plenty of really great shows. Stranger Things. has a
Miami
really,
Vice.
Stranger Things is a good,
Oh,
is
yeah,
a more
Miami
recent
Vice.
show that actually
Magnum
has a really
PI
good
is
theme.
number 73 on this list. I looked at that and I wondered
What?
that too. This
What happens?
IMDb list is on Magnum PI is number 73. This list is
Hey,
still
some
just
bullshit.
pissing me off.
Hey, what was the the X
above
Men
it?
definitely no lyrics, but the melody was fire,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt. What was the theme for the Blade TV show that used to come on?
Can't nobody remember that because
But
nobody
that's-
barely watched that damn show.
I guess not.
I
Yeah.
watched the show. I could tell you what
Kinda-
the theme was.
Yeah.
Like-
so, man, we should do like a, I don't know. We should do like a cameras up. We were getting ready to end the show, but we should do some kind of like a bracket, a TV show theme songs, because like this
I'll be
was
down for that.
this was a
That could be
raging
interesting.
discussion. This
Only
was a
problem is,
raging
how
discussion.
big is the brackets that start with? You talking about 32 theme songs, bring it down?
Yeah, we could do that and break it down by region, like for decades, 80s, 90s.
Battle Royal Free for All. Best
Someone
of
brought
them
up the
all.
Mega Man
Come
thing.
on,
You have to
everybody's
exclude
got a
some things
region.
because
You
there's
can't
too
do
much
that.
anime
Hell no.
that
Come on.
spans everything.
Fandom has to be no. There's no such thing as playing nice. Fandom is all about bringing it down to the best of the best overall. There's no
All right,
How
so
do I like it?
let's slate that as a future show. Maybe I don't know. We already got October kind of slotted, but maybe we could squeeze that in there somewhere. I don't know. The Sonic the Hedgehog that came on Saturdays, Blue Streak, Speeds by we played that.
Sonic
We played that when we did our
Hedgehog.
Sonic Sonic show. Anyway, but no. Yeah, so it's been fantastic talking to everybody today. It's a great show. Lots of enthusiasm, lots of energy in the chat. We want to thank everybody for coming and joining the show. If you were checking us out for the first time, please make sure you come back next week, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Join us on our various channels, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search Culture Junkies on the various platforms, and you will find us. Hit the subscribe button, and you will never miss another show.
Shout outs to Fab Nerd Life and Demetrius Smith.
Yes.
I'm sorry, DeMarcus Smith. I don't believe I said Demetrius. Sorry me. DeMarcus Smith for being Culture Junkies level patrons. If you guys want to get shouted out on the show, consider supporting us over on Patreon/Culture Junkies. So I'm going to turn it over to the host of the show to close it out.
Thank you. So next week we're gonna be actually I can't remember what we're gonna be talking about next week. We didn't.
We're talking about something awesome. Y'all just be here.
Yeah, just be here. 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central.
Same
Talking
junkie
about
time, same junkie channel.
Something like that.
Sounds funny.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, you know.
It doesn't roll off the time like Bad Time, Bad Channel.
It's not supposed to.
It doesn't roll off something like that. I used to love that about that show.
It's not supposed
That's
to
another
roll
damn
off-
great thing.
Not
The
supposed to roll
Batman
off the tongue.
theme.
You got to tourniquet up to
Yeah.
your in your mouth, and then you put a needle in your arm. It's not supposed to roll off the tongue.
That's true. That's
There
true.
you go.
Any final comments before we roll out of here, fellas?
Just a really quick question. Anybody remember the second version, the second theme for the original Ninja Turtles cartoon?
Yes. Teenage Mutant
Like the
Hero Turtles.
the darker sounding one when they were showing it on CBS. I think it was always on CBS, but it was like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they had like a
Oh yeah,
I remember it. I just didn't
I
like it.
remember it now. Yeah, that was terrible. I think my brain like deletes things like that until
Wait,
you
scroll
said
back down.
anything.
What's
You
that
were
about?
it was
gone.
supposed to be like a darker version of the show.
Oh, that
like-
was Bautista took a shot at The Rock.
Over what?
I don't
being
know.
something about being a better actor.
Yeah.
I know he better not. He better
He
not.
did.
You could talk
He
about
better
that
not.
next week.
He better
He
not.
made the-
We'll bring that
he
up
made
later.
the crack
Yeah, we'll have to bring
before.
that up next week. He
Love
better
you, dude,
not.
but stay in your lane,
Stay in
brother.
your lane, dude. Anyway, guys, we had a great time entertaining you. We hope that you also had fun being entertained by us. We look forward to entertaining you again next week. So make sure you come back 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, right here. So for my good friends GQ, the Great Dadakuji, Fallen Marble, and Gypsy, I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys next week. Have a great one.
Later, everyone.